Hello friends, today I take up a new topic and the name of this topic is Uniform Civil Code in India and its implications. Friends, as you know that it is the part of our constitution and according to Article 44 of the Directive Principle of State Policy, a state has to endeavor for the Uniform Civil Code. Now, why I have taken up this topic? So now my lesson plan includes why is it in the news, number 2 constitutional provision, number 3 definition, number 4 difference between civil laws and criminal laws, and finally conclusion. So I will stick to these headings. Friends, if you like my channel AJIS Academy, please share and subscribe and tell your friends that this is a free channel. You will get numerous videos covering different topics related with different type of competitive examinations from UPSC to state civil services. So just share and subscribe. Now let us start the proceedings. So why is it in the news? Number 1, the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand Pushkar Singh Dhami announced on Saturday that if he will get elected or if he will come into power in the election to be held on 14th February, then he will institute a committee for preparing the Uniform Civil Code. Number 2, the draft code will cover issues such as marriage, divorce, property and succession. It will be a step towards implementation of the Article 44 of the Directive Principle of State Policy, as I have already told you, and will promote social harmony, gender equality, women's empowerment. Finally, the Chief Minister was supported by many BJP leaders in implementing the Uniform Civil Code. Now, we switch over to another heading. What are the constitutional provisions for the Uniform Civil Code? Number 1, Article 24 of the Constitution, which is under the Directive Principles of State Policy, in Part 4 of our Constitution, it lays down that the state shall endeavor to secure a uniform civil code for the citizens throughout the territory of India. Now UCC under the entry in the concurrent list of the 7th schedule of the Constitution, entry number 5, entry number 5 of the concurrent list. As you know that there are 3 lists in our concurrent list of the 7th schedule. One is union list, second is state list, and third is concurrent list. Items under union list can be enacted or can be made laws by the Parliament of India. Now, those items which are under the state list can be enacted by state assemblies, but in the concurrent list, both Parliament and state legislative assemblies have the power to enact laws. But whenever there will be clash, suppose an item has been enacted by a state assembly, a particular state assembly, or the Parliament on the same subject, then the act made by Parliament will supersede over the act made by a state legislative assembly. So what you see that entry number 5, which includes uniform civil code, is under concurrent list. It means that both parliament and state legislatures have power to enact the subject pertaining to uniform civil code. Now, at present, only the state of Goa has uniform civil code. All other states have no civil code, uniform civil code at all. Now, Supreme Court, in its judgment, Jose Paulo Coutinho judgment 2019 found Goa a shining example of the Indian state which has a uniform civil code. However, some critics allege that Article 29 of the Constitution provided that every individual and society has the right to preserve and practice their culture and it could not be violated. So, in our constitution, minorities have been guaranteed certain rights under Article 29, 30, because they can open educational institutions. And now under Article 25, 26, 27, 28, whereby the right to religion has been guaranteed to all. That is, minorities included. So, the critics objects against uniform civil code and allege that in a country like India, which is a plural society, there is no need of uniform civil code. Now, they also argue that Dr. Ambedkar, who was the maker of the Indian Constitution, also contended that UCC should be voluntary, not mandatory. Now, what is the definition of UCC? I mean Uniform Civil Code. Number 1, UCC calls for the formulation of laws for India which will be applicable to all religious communities in matters such as marriage, divorce, inheritance, property, adoption, etc. What is the difference? Now, you can understand this that at present, our country has a multitude of civil laws. For Hindu, there are several laws like Hindu Marriage Act, a Special Marriage Act, under Hindu Code Bill which was passed in 1956, and Muslim women are governed by Sharia laws, and these laws have become now discriminatory, and that I will allude to later on. Similarly, other religious community like Zoroastrians or tribal groups, they have their own customary laws to govern their civil laws like marriage, inheritance, adoption or customary property rights. And under Article 371, Government of India has given guarantee to Nagaland and other northeastern states to have their own customary laws. So, what you see that different religious faiths, different cultural groups have their own customary civil laws, and they are being governed by their own customs, traditions. Now, what is the difference between civil laws and criminal laws? Number 1, criminal law is applicable to whole India, to the entire territory of India, and it is applicable irrespective of the faith one follow. In Sahabano case, Supreme Court took section 125 as to be applicable to both Muslim and Hindu women. But later on, because of the clamor of or the protest by orthodox element in Muslim community, government buckled under the pressure and they amended the provision, and that's why the judgment of Supreme Court was very much nullified. So you see that laws that apply to a certain group of people based on their religion, caste, faith, belief and custom, now the civil laws are governed by the religion, caste, faith, belief and custom imbibed by the particular community. But it is, as far as the criminal laws are concerned, it is applicable to all irrespective of the faith or culture or religion or caste he imbibes. Now the personal laws of Hindus and Muslims find their source and authority from their religious scriptures. For Hindu, there are Upanishads, Veds, Upanishads, Dharma Shastras, Dharma Sutras. For Muslims, these are Quran, Hadith, and interpretation of different Islamic school. Like you might be knowing that there are 4 Islamic school, legal school in Islam and in India. Most of the Muslims are adherent to Hanafi school. So UCC aims to provide protection to vulnerable section. What is its aim? Uniform Civil Code, UCC. What is its aim? Number 1, it wants to provide protection to all, including vulnerable section of society like women, children, and religious minorities. And it also promotes the nationalistic fervor to unity. And that's why now majority of people want UCC, I mean Uniform Civil Code, because it gives a kind of unity among all people, irrespective of the religion, faith or culture, caste, creed, color. So it gives a kind of belongingness. And so the supporters of Uniform Civil Code want that like CRPC, Uniform Civil Code, I mean UCC, must be applied to all. Now another benefit of UCC will be, it will simplify the present plethora of or multitude of laws governing different kind of communities residing in different part of the country. And so although Government of India or Parliament tried its level best to codify laws relating to Hindus by way of Hindu Code Bill, which was passed in 1956, but Muslims were left out from this code. So in Sahabano case, what is see, as I have already told you, that how section 125 as interpreted by Supreme Court was totally nullified by the then Congress government in 1986 under the pressure of orthodox element in Muslim community. Now the government enacted Muslim Women Protection of Rights and Divorce Act in 1986, which made section 125 of CRPC inapplicable to Muslim women. BJP, Communist Party and Women Group and NGO opposed the move of the government, and President Abdul Kalam supported the need for a uniform civil code. Now friends, I derive conclusion from this lecture. It is a short lecture today. So what are the conclusions that we derive from this lecture? Number one, UCC must be applied in order to consolidate Indian state. Why I am telling this? Because after 73 years of independence, now India is on threshold of becoming a great power in the Committee of Nations. Gone were the days when India was divided into different primordial loyalties like caste, creed, color, poverty. Now we have a very strong middle class. Its population is more than that of America, the US. So what is see? India is on the threshold of becoming a great power in coming days. So in order to make India stronger, the need of the hour is to implement uniform civil code. And it is also necessary for democratic, secular and socialist objective of the Constitution. And these are the objectives that has been enshrined in our Constitution. So if our preamble, the objective of our Constitution is to establish a secular, a democratic and a socialist country. So if you want to realize these objectives, we must implement uniform civil code. And it will be in the largest interest of our country. It is not good that we should accommodate traditional interest of the patriarchal society, and it is not good for the unity of India. Gone are the days when there were all the difference between men and women were thought to be the grace of the God. Now, according to our Constitution, men and women both are equal in the eyes of laws. Article 15, 16 of our Constitution or 14 clearly stipulate that there shall not be any discrimination on the ground of religion, place of birth, sex, caste. So what is it? That under UCC, this is just antithesis to the aim postulated by our Constitution, where there is no room for discrimination. Now, as the present situation obtains for Muslim women, what is it? That they are governed by Sharia laws. And the Sharia law is very much discriminatory. Why I am telling this? In terms of property right for women, in terms of genital feminine mutilation, or in terms of property, or in terms of marriage, where the Muslim men have right to marry 4 women, where Muslim girls can be married after getting puberty. So what is it? That for men and women there is certain differences which makes discrimination. Now, what is the need of the hour is that there must be equality between men and women, irrespective of the religious affiliation or culture or caste or creed. These primordial loyalties must be done away with. So friends, my conclusion is that UCC, I mean Uniform Civil Code, is the need of hour. We must implement this law, which is enshrined in our Article 44 of the Directive Principle of State Policy. But we must also understand that lawmaking is a slow process, and plural society like India, it is incumbent upon the state to go slow in implementing UCC for the larger interest of the state. It means that implementation of UCC must not be on the cost of violence. It must be done by peaceful manner, by discussion, by argument in parliament, by public opinion, and then we should arrive to the conclusion that Uniform Civil Code is the need of our hour. So friends, I am now winding up my lecture. If you like this video, please share and subscribe and tell your friends that this is a free channel. Just subscribe AJIS Academy on YouTube and you will find numerous videos. Thank you very much.